Just hope I don't get that dizzy spell. Hi, hello. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. It is always a pleasure to be with you on Hump Day. I am in Baton Rouge, Talk 107.3 FM. My friends at Guaranteed Broadcasting have a busy day in Baton Rouge today. Anyway, great to have you back with us. It is the Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. If you want to be part of the program, 844-766-6607 is the number. There's a lot of stuff on. Kimball came back last night, did exactly what I thought he'd do. No apology, right back into politics, right back into the left. I'll get to that in just a second. Donald, President Trump at the UN. The president didn't hold nothing back, and he let him have it. And I'm glad he did, because no president has ever done that. Barack Obama went over there and sucked up. Joe Biden, I don't know if Biden ever went over there, because Joe Biden wouldn't coherent. The Bushes always would kiss up too. Bill Clinton too, not Trump. And Trump's right about everything he said. And I love what he said about the Green New Deal. I mean, he threw the Green New Deal under the bus. He called it a sham. Matter of fact, it was right on the money. The greatest con job in the world is climate change. The greatest con, and he's right. The greatest con job ever in the world, more than wearing a mask and more than 6 foot distance. Okay? Doubling down on skepticism of global environmental strictures and multilateral institutions that operate solely on public funds to answer to nobody. And that's exactly what this is. They answer to nobody because, remember, they've said the science is settled. We have a global warming, and what you breathe out of your mouth is destroying the planet. Anybody that buys into that is a fool. Donald Trump laid it on. And it wasn't just that. He blasted the nation funding the assault on Western countries and the border and the mass migration. And he's right about that. Anyway, I'll get to that as the program unfolds. It was just good to hear somebody with the guts to say the truth. But folks, the world will always be on the wrong side, and they're on the wrong side on this issue. Illegals, everything. But I expect that. That's what the world provides. Now, I have coming at 9:30, and I'm not going to take all his thunder away because I want him to explain. Scott McKay's going to join us. Bernie Pincinat's going to stick his head in here at 10:06, and I got a special Louisiana business I want y'all to meet at the end of the program today. So we'll do all that as the program unfolds, and I'll get to Kimball in a minute. So that's what we got. But there was a National Weather Service, Lauren Nash. Now, remember the Charlie Kirk Vigil, Memorial, whatever you want to call it. Had a lot of Christians there, a lot of praying, a lot of songs, a lot of singing, a lot of people talking. So you had situations where people raise their hand, and it happens in churches all the time. People raise their hand to the Lord. So here comes Lauren Nash, and I'm going to let Scott get on a little bit more, but the comments this woman made about people raising their hands, and they're trying to make it look like it was like a Hitler rally. And so the left, people, I'm telling you what, people, meteorologists and people in the weather that are on the left are just as crazy as the political left. Making it sound like it looked like a Hitler rally. I'm not making this up. I'm going to let Scott explain it all. I got the lady said, got to stand on a spot Hitler used to stand for his rallies, and in the stadium he used nearby. The picture looks like it came from images I was shown that day. I mean, this is crazy. This is going to stay crazy because everybody was shouting for Hitler. This was nothing like this. It's not even in the ball game. It's not even in the same world. National Weather Association. I wish they'd defund the whole damn thing for us. I'm concerned. All of them would lose their job. Lauren Nash, who's a meteorologist for the National Weather Service in New Orleans, of all places. So that's the kind of mindset that we got to go through. But I'm going to say, because Scott wrote a great piece in the Hayride, if you want to check it out before it comes on. I just think that it's something that needs to be brought up, and I want to bring it up because, that's what we're dealing with now. We're just dealing with people that, I don't understand something. So you and me disagree. And I don't tell you nothing. I just stand my ground on what I believe. I don't get in a fight. I don't call you names. I don't curse you. I don't dog you. I don't go after you. But on your side, you curse me, you dog me, you hate me because I don't agree with you. We have a right to disagree. It's okay. It's okay. But there's one side that don't agree with that. It's like with Trump and the greatest con job of all with the Green New Deal. And it's a con job. And without money from governments to make this happen, none of it ever happens because none of it's true. None of it's based on facts. Carbon capture, windmill, all this stuff. Saving the planet. The earth is drying up. The sea levels are going to take it. All this is nutted up stuff. But the media and the left and even people in the Republican Party who are just like, hey, I get money out of this. They're wrong. And yet, we got to determine what's right and wrong, and it's easy for me. But even at that point, I don't want to hurt nobody. Just quit funding it. And if somebody wants to do all this stuff, let them do it themselves. But why couldn't it be done? Because every government in the world jumped on it. China loves it because China's making a ton of money on ignorance, stupidity, and foolishness. We got communist country making money, making a killing off of the people who ought to have sense. That's the United States of America. We ought to have more sense than this. That's why I like what Trump did. Trump went to the UN. He didn't tie down like a George Bush or Bill Clinton or Barack Obama. Well, we got to work together. You don't work together with people that are trying to hurt you. How many people would let somebody would destroy you if they can get in their house and say, well, I'm going to bring them in my house so we can work together? Good luck with that. President Trump nailed him. He nailed them about illegals. He nailed them about these countries and what they're doing with this global craziness. It's a con job. And the only thing I disagree with the president is he should have wiped carbon capture out when he had a chance to. Wiped it out. Wiped it out. No federal money. That means somebody that wants to build a business in Louisiana or Texas, if there's no federal money, they got to choose who has the best business environment. Because when I hear people say, well, you know what, Moody's coming to go to Texas. Well, if Texas didn't have federal money coming in for Green New Deal stuff, they couldn't do it either. So I just found myself. Anyway, Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, so I didn't watch it. I'm never going to watch it. I didn't watch him before. I'm not going to watch him after. Okay? I'm not watching him. I don't like him. I don't think he's funny. And last night proved the point. What I did see, what I did read, he wasn't too funny. He was real political. He didn't apologize. Folks, this is amazing. I heard somebody say, Moon, did you saw Kimball's apology last night? I said, what apology? He didn't apologize. Let me see if I can quote what he said. Well, no, I'm not too far off. Kimball. I got to put glasses on to see this stuff. Now, don't laugh at me, John. This was his apology. I appreciate those who, on the right, who backed my rights, didn't attend. I didn't intend to blame a group for Kirk's assassination. That was his apology. I didn't intend to do it. What happened to, this is just me, what happened to, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said that. He never apologized. That's an apology. John's sitting right here today. Walker's my producer. John has to help me here. So, John, if I say, oh, John, I didn't intend to hurt somebody. Is that an apology? Or would you rather say, John, hey, I'm sorry, man. I lied to you, and I told you I was going to do something I didn't. I lied to you. I lied to you, and here's why I lied to you. Would that be an apology? I'm sorry?
No.
I'm sorry would be apology.
Yeah, that would be.
Me
Yeah.
saying, well, I didn't intend to do that.
Yeah.
Hold up, though. That's not an apology.
That's right.
What happened to, I'm sorry. I screwed up.
Yeah, it doesn't nullify the fact that you did it.
No.
You're not really showing remorse. You're just saying,
He got caught.
That's okay. That's where I was kind of getting at. Are you sorry because you got caught? Or are you sorry because,
The dude's not sorry. And if you listen to the monologue and what I read, because I didn't listen to it, he attacked Donald Trump. He attacked the FCC, and he went back to what he needed to do in this aspect. The perception is this was a free speech issue. And the reality is it had nothing to do with free speech. Absolutely nothing is why he got canned. It had, but social media and the nastiness of social media and Hollywood left made it seem, oh, my God. And so ABC and Disney's weak. Let's just be blunt. Disney's a weak group. And they just gave back in. Because all Disney had to do is nothing to do with free speech. He lied on TV on purpose, and he accused the man that killed Kirk of being a MAGA, and he wasn't even close. He was a leftist just like Kimmel. He didn't get fired for free speech, and everybody, I've had people walking like, Moon, I don't agree with free speech. Same people, when Donald Trump got let go and fired and couldn't get back on social media, they didn't stand up for him. You know what they said? Well, that was private entity. ABC, and last time I looked, Disney, ABC, is that not private entity? Last time I looked, I think that's a private entity. So, folks, what happened to an apology? I can't believe this is what an apology looks like. Well, I didn't intend to do that. Well, are you sorry? No, I'm not sorry. I just didn't intend to do that. Oh, that's the new apology method. I cheated on my wife. I didn't intend to do that. Are you sorry? No, I just didn't intend to do that. Does that follow me on this, folks? This is not an apology. He did not apologize, and he's not going to apologize. Matter of fact, he went right into his usual rhetoric and politics. And he ain't funny. Might be funny looking, but he ain't funny. Anyway, we take a break. Another segment. Scott McKay will join us on the piece I told you earlier. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. And that was a quick segment. Did I screw up that bad? Somebody said it's a great analogy. Would you bring somebody in your house who calls you a Nazi and fascist and would kill you? No.
Yeah, right.
Same thing with Trump. Trump don't want to meet with Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries is upset because Trump won't meet with him on the budget. I wouldn't meet with him either. These are the people who impeached him. These are the people that call him every name in the book.
Right.
You're going to meet with them because what they want to do is spend another $1.5 trillion worth of dollars we don't have. That's so sad. I don't understand apologies at this day and time with these people. They're not apologies. They're not a sincere, godly apology. When you go to the false, Lord, I messed up today. I shouldn't have did so-and-so. I'm so sorry. Right. Please forgive me, Lord. That's an apology. It ain't, Lord, I didn't intend to do that, and I didn't intend to do that. Go try that and see how that works. Yeah. That's not a repentant heart. I really don't have any more time. I got the Louisiana tree guy coming by. Mm-hmm. I like to spotlight businesses every now and then. Yeah. And he does advertise with us here locally with y'all. Yeah, so I told him to come on by.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
So I'll keep Bernie for 3 segments and then put him on. It's gonna be a quick show.
Oh yeah.
This is the one I want to bring up. Yeah, man, look, the reason I can't see my eyes is exactly the same. Look how little the letters are when I print this.
Oh, wow.
It's too small for me.
Yeah.
And I just grabbed some old, I don't even know if that matches. That might be a woman's glass for us. I don't know. My wife had 1,000 of them. I stole one. Yeah. I'm going to have to apologize to her. I didn't intend to steal it.
You didn't intend to?
No. But think about that. Hey, baby, I cheated on you, but I didn't intend to.
Right.
Boy, okay, well, I'll take you back since you didn't intend to.
Yeah.
They want to hammer out a deal. Everybody wants a deal, and the deals are always bad. I don't know why I took that sinus stuff. Just don't want that to happen, man. Like, and it's all sinuses. I can feel it coming, sneezing, and I can't hear this in at equilibrium or do that. I've been sick as a dog with it. Now it don't happen much. Damn, when it happens, it seems to stick around. And the doctor just told me my checkup was great. I go down.
Always one thing.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show on the road. Beautiful Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in conjunction with Garrity Broadcasting. Won't talk 107.3 FM. 844-766-6607, the Matthew James Tax Pro hotline. I really mean that there's no apology in Kimball. So I didn't intend to hurt somebody. Try that. You get in a wreck and you drinking and driving, you get in a wreck. And you tell the officer, hey, I didn't intend to hit nobody when I was driving. Oh, okay, your blood alcohol level was 1.6, but since you didn't intend to hurt anybody, we just let you go. Try that at home. Fool around on your wife or husband and say, you know what, honey, I got to confess something. I didn't intend to cheat on you, but that's the way. If you didn't intend to do that, baby, everything's good. You know, you didn't intend. Now, are you sorry? No, I'm not sorry I did it. It was fun. But I didn't intend to do it. Jimmy Kimmel last night. It's just a joke. Such a joke. By the way, and there's a ton of stations that New Orleans does not even put Kimmel back on. Sinclair and the next door, who happens to add these programs, have not put him back on it. Matter of fact, it's a lot of stations. It's a lot of big stations. Tulsa, St. Louis, Missouri, Seattle, Washington, Tacoma, San Angelo, Texas, Rochester, New York, Roanoke, Lynchburg, Virginia, Portland, Oregon, Macon, Georgia, Mobile, Alabama, Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Anyway, a lot of stations that said, no, we're not putting it on. And if Nexstar and Sinclair would hang tight, let him go ahead and be on the stations that he's on. They're losing money with him. They're losing a lot of money with him. I'm still predicting he will go. I think he's going to go because he's going to get down to the dollars and cents. Okay? The loss of dollars and his no cents is going to, I think, will eventually get him out of there again. He went right back to politics, not funny stuff. And people laughing at his jokes really just laugh when they would laugh at my jokes. Okay? And I'm not a comedian. So, by the way, the other thing I wanted to mention real quick, because it's a short break. So, Chucky Schumer, that's the former Senate president who wears a double extra small thong every day. He's never smiled since I've seen him. And Hakeem Jeffries, who is another one that's ridiculous. So, Trump does not want to meet with them about the budget. They want to spend, they want to up the Medicaid money. They want to spend money on illegals. I mean, you'll see what they want money for, and the House and Senate's the House has already passed the bill to let the budget go for 21 days, whatever it is. And they want to meet with Trump, and they're coming unhinged at Donald Trump. But these are the same two people that impeached him. They hollered stuff all the time, hollering racial stuff at him, all the time throwing him under the bus, all the time beating him up. Why should I meet? You don't meet with trash. You don't meet with people like this. If everybody had some sense, would back up and watch Chucky Schumer and Jeffries and watch what they've said their whole career since Donald Trump's been around. If I'm Trump, I never meet with those guys. Okay? Matter of fact, what's sad about this, when Democrats passed budgets and did the things they did, and Mike Johnson, who, by the way, the speaker's on with us tomorrow, let them tell you all the times that Democrats just kept them out of everything. They kept them out of Obamacare, the worst health care bill we've ever passed in the history of the United States of America. It's going to break us, is what it's going to do. This is what they fight for. They want another $1.5 trillion in the budget. And I'll say it again, we're already $37 trillion in debt, and that's growing, and they don't care. Trump accused Democrats of making unserious and ridiculous demands, and they pushed to compromise the deal. So what they want to do is they want to come in as high dollar, and Trump and them give in to give them more money. And everybody's worried about a shutdown. I'm not. I'm really not. I don't care anymore about that. I want to quit spending money. I told y'all yesterday. If you had to come to me and say, Moon, what's the biggest problem when it comes to money and finances in the United States of America? It's easy for me. And I'm right. It's the spending, stupid. It's all about the spending. It's all about the abusive spending that's going on in this country that's making everything that we buy go up, 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 up. So we can't afford it. Makes no sense. All right, when we get back, Scott McKay and the Hayride, great piece. I got a couple things to talk about, Scott, but you don't want to miss it. We'll take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Man, that was 30 minutes already. That's how quick that goes by. And really, you're only about on 22 minutes, but still, that was like, whoop, gone. Now I got Scott going like this. Bernie going to come. It's going to be over. First segment's 9:06 to about 18. So that's 12 minutes. The second one's about 5.5 or 6. And the next two would be like 10 or 11. Like 11. And I'm sitting here going, we're already coming out of 9:30 break. I got to go speak at a vigil. Another one in Shreveport. Charlie Kirk. The church First Bossier put together a visual. Dude, check this out. No, Sunday. They put it together. We did it last Tuesday. 1,000 people. 2 days to put it out there. 1,000 people. Everywhere. And so you asked me to see. It was 2 pastors and a girl at work with Charlie Kirk. Was in Korea on their missionary deal. And they asked me to speak. Man, I was like humbled, man. You got 15 minutes. And the funny thing, I couldn't tell you what I said. I really can't. I prayed about it. I worked on a deal. I took the scriptures, put it in my pocket. And I've always worked better. The Holy Spirit works better with me. Just go up there. He'll give me what to say. Now, I prep it out like that, put it in my pocket. I never took it out. I never do. And so I went 15 minutes, and both the pastors got up there and said, Reverend Moon, you ought to be Reverend. You're Reverend Moon. Well, I mean, I didn't talk politics. I talked about the good Lord. And that's all I know I talked about because I couldn't tell you 2 words. I promise you. I never can. I have to really sit here and think about what was said. I've always trusted God would give me the words. And even though I prepped my program, it's just something about being in front of people that I wasn't nervous. I was excited. Yeah, but the words, you know, sometimes I go back and I take my notes out. I look, God, I wonder if I said that. And I'll just throw it in the garbage. For me, the blessing was being there and listening to the 2 pastors. See, 2 pastors knew him, and Abigail knew him. I didn't know him. So I had to base it on what I watched. But that was a blessing to go to. They asked me to come to the one in Baton Rouge, and I don't think they were going to let me speak, but I didn't know that, but I couldn't come. Yeah. Yeah, I knew they were, and they still going to do it. They did one yesterday at over 2,000 people. Allie, how you know her? How you know her? That ain't the one from. She's not from Arkansas, is she? See, there was 2. I don't think the same one. There were 2 young girls that were there. Abigail and Allie were there. Abigail spoke. Allie didn't. That ain't her. No, that ain't her. That ain't her. You talking about somebody gonna probably be on a more upper level. This young girl, I'm telling you, is into colleges and all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not the same one. The one I'm talking about is a young lady. These are two young girls, and they both in college. And but Abigail started her own thing as something off of Charlie Kirk's deal. And they said Charlie Kirk didn't start out as the big Christian. He started out as the guy of Turning Point. He said, but his last 2 or 3 years became more about God and the Lord than it did about politics. He, what I watched about him, the dude was smart. The dude was smart and sharp. Charlie Kirk. He didn't mind. He didn't mind battling, but he did a better job than I would ever do because he never cursed them. They didn't. I know, but and I've done that too. But if you're gonna curse me, I'm probably gonna fight you. He didn't do that. I would cross the line. Unfortunately, I know I would. Actually, when I've been in situations in public, y'all, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you back with us. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. I think I have a mistake here. All right. Scott McKay is not the mistake. Talk 107.3 FM, guaranteed. We're here now. Scott, no, it's good. It might be a mix up on something else. It wouldn't with you, I promise you. All right, Scott. So, it's Scott McKay with the Hayrod. Scott's does a podcast. He's written several books. He's very involved. Scott, you came up with a piece, and I shared it with the audience without going into much detail. And I'm gonna start with your last piece that's on the Hayrod now, dealing with the National Weather Service. Lauren Nash, tell us what happened. Yeah. All right, Walker, I lost him. Walker, is Scott still with us? Okay, there you go. Scott, I lost you for a second. You were saying it started to put out and I lost you. So repeat that for me. Yeah. By the way, Scott, I'm only going to stop you for a second. I attend church. I've been in a lot of Christian stuff my whole life, and I'm thankful. Raising of the hands is about as normal as drinking water in the Christian community, and that church is that deal. But I want to just emphasize that raising of the hands is just part of what Christians do. Not every one of them does it. Some do it, some don't. But to put that and compare that to Nazis, it shows they live in a different world than we live in. All right, go ahead. I just wanted people to know that. It is. Yeah. Yeah, good point. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Ah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't. I don't. This is the other problem we got here. Just like with Kimball, lied about a MAGA guy. They turn it on themselves. They shooting each other. This is such a lie. This is a straight out lie of what they were doing at a memorial. It's just an outright lie. It's made up. It's like, let me see, why do they have to say, think about it, Scott. Why do you have to say anything about a memorial for Charlie Kirk? You hate him. You don't like him. You're glad he's dead for the most part. Why do you have to say anything? Why can't you just shut up, go away, lie, go back and do your weather stuff, lie to us about climate change, lie to us about global warming. You lie about that too. It proves they'll lie about anything. And that's what bothers me. So if I don't like you, Scott, I don't have to tell you that. If you don't like me, you don't have to tell me that. I don't have to like you. I got to respect the fact that whatever you do, you do. Same thing with you to me, but I don't have to like you. I don't. But I also don't have to get on social posts and show how stupid I am. And that's what the woman did. Good point. Great point. Wow. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Let me take a break. Scott McKay will take a break and come back and wrap up with Scott. I do have a couple Jimmy Kimmel questions for you as well. All right. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. We're here in Baton Rouge. We talk 107.3 FM. And of course, it is guaranteed broadcast. And we'll take a break, be back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know why these people, they hate you and they just won't get out your way. I don't like I don't like that people are transing, but if they want to do that, they can do it. You want to go do it, go do it. Just get out of the schools, get out of telling kids this is good, normal, and taking medicine and getting operations. I'm good. What you want to go do at 18 up? Hey, have at it. I mean, you got to answer to God just like I am. But go and tell us in schools and let 10-year-olds get their private parts cut off is absolutely ludicrous, over the top of the line, crazy. Like I tell people, we got God on our side, and we also have. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show. Thanks for being part of the program. Matthew James, Tax Pro Hotline. Before I get back to my special guest, I want to make sure you check out my good friends at Superior Grill, folks. I love the Mexican food at Superior Grills. Superior Grills are happening. You can go over there. You can eat great food. You can have a good time with your family and friends. And we enjoy going. I've been going for over 30 years. My bride's been going for over 40 years. And it's just a place we have a good time. And I want you to go experience a great time. The thing you want to do, you want great food and a great time. That's always a fun place. I had a buddy tell me, I went there, it was kind of loud. I said, did you love it? I said, you go with a big group, you like to be loud, everybody's talking. I said, it's just a fun place to be. You run into people that you know, friends, family members, and things of that nature. The food is great, but the atmosphere is awesome too. Superior Grill, Line Avenue in Shreveport, College Saloon in Lafayette, St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans, and we got Government Street and Highland Road right here in Baton Rouge. So you got a place to go. You want to have a good time, throw a party, get some catering done. Superior Grill, Bob and Phil do an awesome job. Scott McKay, my special guest. Hey, Scott, a great piece on the Hayride. I want people to go read about this lady and what she's done. And I'm glad you did a little investigation behind who she really is. That's always important. But so Jimmy Kimmel came back last night in some places. And, and Scott, I'm a little different. Let's say I offended you, just whatever, stole something from, whatever. And I wanted to apologize to you. I would come up to you and say, hey, Scott, I'm really sorry. I screwed up, man. I owe you an apology, and I am sorry. Jimmy Kimmel didn't say nothing like that. Matter of fact, Jimmy Kimmel said he didn't mean to, he didn't intend to point somebody out, but really he did. But that's not an apology. And then he goes on a monologue that's worse than all other ones he did. He goes after Trump, and he goes after MAGA. He's not even funny. So what's happening now? And by the way, Sinclair and Nexstar said, nope, we're not putting you back on right now. Not saying they won't. And last thing I'm going to tell you, this was never, ever, ever about free speech. And that's the thing P owes me, because I had people say, well, I'm glad they did that for free speech. This has nothing to do with free speech. Nothing at all. Donald Trump got stripped for 2 years off social media. 2 years. Now, that was more about free speech than this was. Mm-hmm. True. True. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Many years. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, yeah. And one apology. No, and that's what I said. Apology is, I'm sorry, Scott. that you're never going to hear that out of his mouth. So I make a prediction. I think he's still going to be gone. It's a matter of time. He can't help himself. He's going to say something dumber than what he said the other day. He's going to lie and keep lying because that's what he's doing now. So that's not going to change. He's not going to change what he's doing. It's just a matter of Sinclair and Nexstar, do they stay away from him? Because, look, Colbert, when they fired him, they were losing $40 million a year. I got to believe they're losing more than that on Kimball. I got to believe that. Mm-hmm. Sure. But listen to me. I I want you to do this. This Jimmy Kimmel went right back. This is the free speech, and he went after the FCC guy, Cox or whatever his name was, and went after Trump, of course. And my question is, and it's not my question, is that this was never about free speech. They made it free speech. I've had people walk up to me and say, well, I don't agree with that free speech. I said, where were you at when they got rid of Donald Trump on social media? And what I'm saying is it was never about free speech. But they want you and the perception to be this was all about free speech. It never was. Mm, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I'm not, that's for sure. All right, Scott, we got to go. Thanks for your insight. Appreciate it. Go to the Hayride, folks. Check out the story on Lauren Nash, cuckoo with the National Weather Service. Anyway, all right. Thank you very much. Bernie Pincinat next. All right. Thank you, sir. Bernie Pincinat next. Show Barney's close. Supposed to. Shit, we told him 10 o'clock. No, Raging K, man, we use it all the time. Even my wife was bragging to somebody else. She said, I just used that Raging K. She said, it's not as salty. She said, this is really good. She was bragging about it. My son comes home, he cooks chicken and protein and beef and all that, trying to eat lighter. Yeah. He'll use that too. He likes to put the chicken and gator season on one of them. It's pretty good too.
Nice. That's some good stuff.
Are you in next Tuesday or
Tuesday after? Why, you got something else next week? Yeah, that means that's going to be, I don't know the date on it. Yeah, I'm going to, Brian, when we go to, but if it don't mess y'all up, when we go to the third hour, I'll do 3 hours here. I won't do two anymore. I run a tape of something that I like, And it might be a deal where I'll come every week for 2 weeks, and then maybe skip a week and come a little bit more, because it'll be a good thing to do. Let's see, Brian.
Can't have enough FaceTime.
Next Tuesday is the 7th. No, next Tuesday is the 30th.
30th
I'll be back.
on the 7th.
Oh no, I won't. I'm speaking in the Cattle Republican deal that day for lunch, so we'll probably back it up maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, because I won't be able to come down. I'm gonna be in Shreveport for 2 days. Okay. I'll kind of keep in touch with you, though. Trumping them after these illegals, man. They shootings and everything else. That's all Joe Biden and Obama and them that did that. They call Barney, ask him where the heck he's at. He's normally early. All right, bro. How to say he normally. All right, where's Mike's gonna be fine, John? Say, Barney. Barney, I'm lowering this seat a little bit. I'm gonna let you get in there. You can lower this one. What's up, bud? I think I am. Number Miss John. I'm gonna keep you 3 seconds. I got another guy coming in for the last one. It's more of a business deal. Okay. And but we're gonna do 3. So that'll take you to about 1:45. I got a lunch deal today, and I got another appointment right after that. I'm hoping I can get our ears out. What time that rain's supposed to be in here? There'll be a bunch of rain coming in. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be out of here by then, because I think the way it's coming to Lafayette is coming through y'all first. I think it's coming like down here or this way. I hope it is. I ain't even looked at the weather in Lafayette. You doing all right? You having any luck finding any candidates? Or you ain't really got on that bandwagon yet?
We have to wait to see on October 13th what happens with the current
The district stuff?
Yeah, are they going to make them redo all the elections we just did?
That would be horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have thunder showers in Lafayette starting at 1, starting over here at 3, so it must be coming this way. Or down this way, so I'm going to ride the whole time in it.
Yeah, I think the blow's coming from the west.
Yeah, you're talking about 83 starting tomorrow, mid-80s all for the next 10 days, and the nighttime after the night, 64, 65, 66, 67 for 10 days. So we're going to be cooling down now.
I hope we get a good rain, though.
We finally, Bernie, I ain't cut my grass in a month from my house. And then finally, the last couple of days it's raining. So what's happening is it was dying. That's growing real fast again, but I can't cut it until I get a couple of days of dry weather. So, but according to this, I think about a weekend I'll be able to cut it. I ain't gonna do nothing but hang around the house this weekend and watch football anyway.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Talk about the Senate. Talk about the Gov and economic development.
Yeah.
We'll give them a little kudos on that.
Yeah.
We also can give first, before we talk about the Senate, we give the House some kudos because they passed. I want to talk about, I do want to bring up insurance reform and the fact that's still a number one issue. If we do enough, and what I'm getting is, I heard this from people who helped push the insurance reform, said, we ain't going to get that next time. They don't even want to talk about it. They don't want to bring it up. But but me and you can talk about it because it's still a number one issue.
Well, that's becoming commonplace at the legislature, where if it's controversial, we don't talk about it.
That's why I don't think they get mad at you and me, because when it's controversial, me and you, that's all we'll talk about. You want some water? Want a little bottle of water?
I may want to keep one just in case, because I woke up. I did cut a little grass yesterday, and I forgot to wear a mask.
I got, check this out. I got sinus stuff, so I get this. I can't hear in this ear. That vertigo hit me yesterday. I had to go home and lay down for I don't.
I get the first thing if I forget and don't wear a mask, I wake up I wake up in the middle of the night. I do a lot of times, and I'm bouncing off the walls because of vertigo.
I hate doing that. That's what I get. I get the same, but I ain't got it in a while. But it hit me yesterday. I left my doctor. All my stuff was good. All my numbers were real good. Go over there, vertigo hit. I go, go check with the doctor. But I'm fighting it too, Barney. I got a little sinus in it. That vertigo hit me yesterday, man. I was like that, and I had to do that, and then I had to drive. I had to sit in a restaurant and just sit there by myself for like 30 minutes. I kind of got composed, and I walked to the truck, and once I sat down, I was good again. I drove all the way home. I got home. I got some. I lay down in the bed 2 hours.
I'll get it mild, and then I'll get it really bad, like you had it, and I got to go home.
But see, you do it like me.
You don't want to do anything.
Listen, it hits you and can go away. It'll hit you, and you better go lay down or not do nothing. And that's where I was yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I can't hear in this ear, so it kind of throws me off. Bernie, right there, you ain't got to kiss it, my brother. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show, hour number 2 here in beautiful Baton Rouge. Talk 107.3 FM, Guarantee Broadcasting. 844-766-6607 is the Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. We're joined by Bernie Pincinat. Y'all know Bernie. Bernie's been around the political game a lot longer than me. He's been a poster. I think he still is a poster. I think once you're a poster, you're always a poster.
Yeah, I still run polls.
No, I figure you did, but you're not a read. Hey. The one thing, when you run them like you have, hey, you know how to read them.
Well, it not only read them, but how do you use them and with your client? It's you're trying to.
Okay, that problem here in Barney.
Is
that better, Walk? Go ahead, Barney.
You're trying to accomplish something generally when you run a survey, and how do you use a survey? The strategy you use to help the client achieve what his goals are. A political client's trying to win an election. He has to change his message based on polls, or his message is good, or if the poll shows that he's losing, he's got to do something different. So polling is nothing more than marketing. It really took off in the 80s, right as I got into it. I did things a little different. You had a lot of university professors when I came along, but I had learned polling a different way when I was working for Senator Bennett Johnston, and I saw polling as something you could use to move the needle different ways and strategically, and plus it was different to see university professors would give the results, but they really wouldn't say a lot. They were very guarded, and I was very political and a campaign manager, so when I did interviews, and I think that's why I ended up being used so much, I would go beyond just saying what the numbers were, and I would add stuff like that candidate stick a fork in him, he's dead. I did that. I did that.
I like it. I think that's pretty damn good.
So yeah,
you can grab it like that.
Yeah, I was a little more daring, and I guess you'd say my commentary was, a lot of the media liked it, so they started using me a lot. And
when you ran a poll and you saw something. Stick a fork in him, he's done, and it really was done. They start saying, well, Pincinat knows what he's doing. They got to get a chance to watch. I'm going to say the biggest change in polls now, Bernie, and you might agree or disagree, but I'm asking, it's got to be we went from the home landline to cell phones. And I don't know how hard it is to get cell numbers. I don't know that, but I would believe polling has to be done is much or a lot more with a cell phone than it does with a landline. Am I wrong? Is that the biggest difference now?
Well, landlines were, to me, a lot more accurate because you were calling a family at home. You knew their address. You knew a lot. You knew a lot about them. You could also, we call that certain person, and we call that person by the way because every time you vote, I don't know who you voted for, but I know
If you voted,
I know that you voted, and I'm looking for people who vote.
you look for the chronic vote.
I'm looking for chronic voters. The optimum. You have we call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, and you want 1 to 3s, 1 to 4s.
Okay.
5s are all voters, and 4s are the people who vote in presidentials, and then likely voters are the people who vote in governor's races, and then chronic and super chronic are people who never miss a vote.
By the way, it's more scientific because of technology now than
Yeah.
it was, say, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, computers,
Yeah.
pure and simple. Landlines are different. There's as a pollster, I see some of the polling data coming out of national and how they conducted the polls. You see a lot of polls that aren't quite as accurate as I think the results we used to get, and it's because of cell phones and they're mobile by nature, and are you really getting the people you need to talk to, and are they actually the voters they say they are? As far as are you getting the people you want related to how often they vote? So you see a lot of problems during the presidential and these big national elections because it's such a operation to get to zero in on.
But do you think the polls are more accurate in a state when it comes to a governor's race or in-state race versus a presidential race?
Yeah, because of you're making a choice of who you're calling, and that choice better be good because if you, for example, here's always the problem with accuracy. If you call 10 people and it says 4 is voting for candidate A and 4 is voting for candidate B, but one of the people you call in candidate B doesn't ever vote.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't vote, and it's 4-3.
Okay.
So your poll your poll was incorrect.
Yeah. I noticed that there's a lot of art and science to it. I don't mind polls. I don't like early polls, Bernie. If a race is going to be in November and you're polling in March and April, I just always felt like that some people could take a poll, and you even mentioned it early, and make it sound better than it is. I'm not saying that's what you did. I'm saying you can, but by the time they get to the end and a vote comes, they better be in a ball game because that's your reputation online.
Well, Southern media adhered to a standard set by the media and polling organizations where
y'all provide everything.
We provided everything about the survey. I would tell media people if you want to come look at what we did and how we did it, and I also provided who paid for it.
But the media, that's where they fall short. I'm not going to say they don't provide who pays for it, but they don't provide all the questions for somebody. That's why I meant you can look at a poll if you give it all the questions and determine it better than I can.
Well, you got two parties there. You got the media, and some media is in literally pushing the candidate, and they'll push out a poll that I look at it and say, where's the data on this?
Yeah.
Who paid for this poll?
But Bernie, you admit it though. There are push polls out there.
Oh, absolutely.
And so how does somebody determine it's a push poll? They keep hearing the same name coming over and over again, whether it's against a candidate. If like they say, okay, Moon Griffon, but every question is negative, they're probably not pushing Moon. They're probably pushing somebody
else. Then I can tell you who paid for it. If they won't tell you who paid for it.
Somebody ask when they call, hey, who's paying for the poll?
Yeah. Well, when they publish it, the person, the media
let me back up. But if you call and you're doing a poll as a person that is going to participate in a poll, can I say who's doing this, or they won't tell you?
No, they won't tell you.
So they won't tell you who's doing it. They won't say who's paying for it when you take the poll.
Yeah, Buster and I adhered to the standards. We never veered from them, and no media person ever called me and complained that we didn't we didn't provide the information.
If you're giving them the questions and the numbers,
so
that's the only way to prove that it's legit.
So over years and years and years, when the media published the Southern Media and Opinion Research Poll, they put it out there as if it was gospel, and it was as far as we did the best we could do
Okay, let me
with accuracy and truthfulness.
This will be a little bit off the subject, but I'm gonna bring it up. So remember, closing weeks or days of the presidential election last time, there was a poll that popped up in Iowa that had Trump losing. Okay, and then they actually put it out there, and it was a total lie, off the chart. All other polls show Trump winning. It went in a decent number. When a poll like that pops up and the media runs with that, that's what gives polling a bad name. Would you agree with me on that, on something like that? Because that's political. That's not polling. That's just political.
Well, I watched that entire episode unfold and watched it because I became very interested in it because it was such an outlier.
But that's your interest. That's what
Yeah.
you know good,
Well,
better than us.
Yeah, it was an outlier that how could that be in Iowa? There's no way. And yet she was paid for by the Des Moines Register. The poll was paid for, and they were put on the spot. So was she, and it started being attacked viciously. Her reputation. And by the way, when the election was over, she announced that she was no longer in polling.
I wonder why. No, I knew you had watched that, and I was just using. I want to know. So when people are looking at polls, average people are looking at poll, and I like to know. And I knew because you've taught me a lot through the years.
Here's the problem with what she did. There's two possibilities. She was going to do what she was going to do, and she was going to get out of polling because it was such a bogus results.
You think she was gone anyway, but she just she threw together.
There's only two possibilities. One, she was in on it. And two, you have to be careful of who you hire. You know, she didn't run the poll. Somebody else runs the poll. You know, a call center. But we were very careful who we used for the call center. We weren't looking for people who had agendas, and our names were out there. And see, I never had any survey like that because once you have a survey like that, your reputation is dead, and you'll never get rid of that poll.
You can miss on a poll, Bernie, if you're talking about, you always say 3 percentage point of error.
Yeah.
You can miss wrong for a candidate and be 3 or 4 points off, and you're okay.
Yeah.
What you can't do is miss by 15 points.
Well, yeah.
8 or 10 points. That hurts you.
Well, it's like we have what's called margin of error.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be, when the actual vote comes in and it's way beyond the margin of error, then your poll's bad, period. There's no excuse. I mean, you've conducted a poll that wasn't accurate.
Is it? Okay, here's the last question. We're going to take a break, and I will come back and talk about the House and the Senate, the economy, the governor, stuff like that in the next two segments. But so if when these polls come out, you have to be able to read them. And I tell people if they don't have, if let's say I call it the devil's advocate, comes out with a poll, and all they give you is numbers. I ain't gonna say it's bogus, but it's kind of bogus in the fact we have nothing else to prove. Well, you got to be able to prove.
Well, here's the problem. Look, when polling started becoming relevant and big time used by the media, there was the polling organizations that existed that were big national groups that formed, met with the media conglomerates, New York Times, Washington Post, CBS, and they all came up with standards. And they did that to protect polling from itself, but number two, protect the public from polls being used to promote an agenda.
Last question, I got to take a break. Is it harder, easier to poll now than it was 20, 30 years ago? Or it's about the same with technology, it's basically about the same?
I don't know. I was involved in a poll last year for Lane Grigsby with Rigamer down in New Orleans. He and I released a statewide poll. I think he and I were both comfortable with it. He uses a call center that I'm familiar with, and they're very good. I think you can, but I'm not as comfortable as I was 20 years ago.
Okay, it's good to know. All right, let's take a break, Walker. We'll be back. Bernie Pinson, that's his name. Some more questions. The Senate and the House kind of been overshadowed a little bit with all the stuff going on. I want to talk to you a little bit about that. Governor Landry, economic development seems to be what he's really, really working hard at. So that and much more with Bernie Pinson out when we be right back. And what we'll do is move. I didn't want to get on a poll, and I thought, shit, that's a good subject for you.
It is.
Great. That's why I brought up the Iowa deal. While we were talking, I thought about that.
Everybody loves that subject. When I go to civic clubs, they're fascinated when I tell them how it's done.
See, you were able to explain what's a push poll? You were able to explain if they're gonna put numbers out there. Let me see the questions.
Right.
And so, if you're a person that's trying to read a freaking poll,
Yeah.
what you want to do is say,
Well,
"Oh, well, how do I know that's
well,
legit?"
we gave all your listeners an education on what to look for.
But that's what I wanted you to do.
Yeah, and look, it's the favorite subject when I go speak to a civic club. They want to know how do you do a poll, and I do it and don't think about it.
Poll 2 hours. We can do a 2 hour show on polling.
Yeah, but the Iowa thing is a classic.
Oh, I had to bring that up.
Well, I think I'm glad you brought it up because it allowed me to say Southern media never had. Once you have one of those, Southern media never experienced anything like that. Oh, we'd be gone. Once you do one of those, she said I'm retiring because she knew no one would ever call her phone again.
She better retire because guess why?
Well, nobody's going to use it. You think you're going to put out a post that this is done by?
No, their history. You're right.
Well, you don't want to do a poll and it's more controversial than the poll. The methodology. And believe me, the Democrats attack the hell out of any poll.
I know. Better when they don't do what they want.
Well, Republicans do it too, though. Everybody attacks them. But if you do it properly,
I can't. This stuff is so small. I had to put glasses on. Everything I'm reading is so little, and I can't see it. I can see everything and read everything until it start getting the letters like that.
well, that's why I got a bigger phone.
Yeah, well, I didn't get the bigger phone. I probably ought to make bigger letters.
Yeah, you can, but then it pushes out the edge of the phone. Then you got to rotate.
You can't read it.
Yeah.
You got to play with it, roll it back and forth, and that gets two.
You may want to start off with last March you released a poll, blah, blah, blah. And you don't have to bring up just say the legislature's numbers were absolutely horrendous. You and I talked about it. What do you think now? The poll.
Just to think y'all don't think I can fish. That was Sunday.
Damn.
2-day total. We had came in third. The leaders it was 2182, 2177, and 2110. That's how close we were over 2 days. It was 2 days of some damn. I tell you, I ain't been the same since. Man, when you're older, it gets a little tougher. No, I was going to bring it up. We had a poll, but one of the things I wanted to bring up that I think is probably smart. So the Senate and the House got together, Cameron Henry and Phillip, and they started running what they did positive. And what I was going to bring up to you is I think what they did, it probably was smart on their part because everything got tied into redistricting. Everything got tied into insurance. So we kind of lost sight if anything good passed. I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah.
Or just bogus advertising. I ain't gonna ask it like that though.
Well, did it work?
Yeah.
As opposed to, do you think it helped PR?
Hi, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you back with us. 844-766-6607, Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. Bernie Pitts in that end. This is going to be a short segment too, Bernie. So, Bernie, y'all ran a poll last year about the legislature. If I recall, wasn't real popular. They're running some ads and doing some things to let people know what they felt like they accomplished. Everything got tied into Cleophil's district last year. I remember being on the radio really for this year. We talked about redistricting, and we talked about the insurance ate up everything. So is it smart of them to be running stuff like that so they can say, hey, look at all the stuff we did that nobody really understands we did something good?
Well, what's important is how did they get there?
Yeah.
The numbers were horrible. The numbers were maybe, I hadn't looked quite back that far, but in modern times, I don't know if I've ever seen numbers that negative, which shocked me.
On the legislature, nothing to do with the governor, just the legislature.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that affected was the states moving in the wrong direction was really, really bad. And how did they get there? I don't know if they ever do that, but if you, as a pollster and you deal with clients, you say, well, first of all, how did we get there? And I don't know if any of them even understood how they got there. I've had good conversations with a bunch of them and said, well, how did our numbers get so bad?
Can you explain to me how they got there?
Yeah.
And you can't, by the way, you cannot blame me. And I ain't gonna blame you.
Well, when the elections were over, there were lots of, especially freshmen I was involved with. Most of the freshmen ran on insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, the freshmen knew what was the problem. They were hearing it back home. If you didn't have a campaign, a lot of them didn't. Well, I guess they missed it. But it's amazing that any legislator didn't know that insurance was the number one issue in the minds of parents in Louisiana who have kids and they're trying to send their kids to college, and inflation's going up like crazy because of all the spending in Washington, which you mentioned earlier today. And insurance, every time they get the insurance from one of the companies, they oh my God, they probably throw it on the counter. So I'm not gonna open this for a couple of days because I know it
ain't gonna be good.
It's not gonna be good. So they're facing that 2 or 3 times a year, is if you're getting it monthly. But so there was only the House members, mainly freshmen. You had the chairman of insurance, I guess, and Mike Johnson. I know a couple of them that weren't freshmen who really were in the in crowd.
Gabe Furman. Gabe knew too. Gabe was part of
he's chairman. They got it. They knew what was going on, and so they joined in with a bunch of Republicans, and most of the legislation came from the Republicans and Gabe and others.
But they got a lot of that out of the House.
They got it out of the House.
Then the problem over on the other side of town.
Well, then the Senate decided.
Lord have mercy.
The Senate decided it's the number one issue in the state. Mom and Pop are suffering, but we're not going to hear it, I guess, because of the trial lawyers. Whatever.
Barney, is the House, let me go back to something because I remember you talking about this. The House is voting on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? And voted for a lot of good stuff. Is the House unfairly being criticized because of what the Senate did, because they didn't hold their own when it came back? Or is it all together no matter how you look at it?
Well, the Senate started the ball rolling on the negativity. They didn't even hear it. There was nothing came. When the session was over, there was no insurance. And I ran a poll in Senate District 23, and Grigsby and others, and we gave it to legislators. And by the way, those are the ones that knew by then. They were looking at that poll. My God, we're unpopular.
Yeah.
We got to do something about insurance. The Senate never got it. None of them. It was amazing. You talk about, media talks about they're different others. No, they're not. They're just, I guess, as I refer to them now, they're a group that there's no such thing as democracy. They considered insurance controversial, so they didn't hear it, and they didn't pass any.
You put the blame at the foot of Cameron Henry? I'm asking. You got to start there.
Well,
you got to start there. He's the Senate president.
Well, he's the Senate president, but you also have the trial lawyers involved with. They didn't want anything, and the insiders. I don't know. You have to just say the Senate. I'm gonna say the Senate as a group failed miserably. Okay. The people in Louisiana,
and that's fair enough.
And it's unfair to the House because they figured it out. And
that's what I wanted to know. If you thought it was unfair, I got to take a break. Hold your thought, Barney. One more segment to go. All right, we'll be back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Somebody just text me. Yes, we're going fast today. Ask you if with the Kurt guy being killed, his death, and his wife taking over, will it affect future elections, and how do young people go to the polls? Right now, they all pumped up about going to vote and everything else. But will it do in a year?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that in the last segment. We can talk about. That's it.
Yeah, that's it right there.
I'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying. I think it's a good ad. I think they need to do it. But here's the problem: what's affecting people on a daily basis is what they care about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I've learned to live this a long time ago. It's all about today, because you might not be here tomorrow.
Right.
So really, life is about today.
Yeah.
It ain't about tomorrow, the next week, next month, next year. I know we plan all that stuff, but it's not.
Well, let me tell you, the day a poll's taken, it's accurate. 5 days later, it's not.
What's that now?
It's the day a poll is taken, it's accurate. 5 days later,
It's out of date.
it's out of
You
date.
can go back and say with the latest poll,
Right.
but it's not as accurate as that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what
Everything
you're
is
saying.
about that.
No, I'm glad. I knew when you came here. I knew I've been wanting to talk a little bit about polls, just to kind of give people an idea what they need to look for.
Well,
Look, I've been around you for a while.
you
I get it.
Once we get into January of next year, there's going to be a jillion polls on Democrats, Republicans, Senate candidates, House candidates. There'll be a poll a day on something related to the Republicans and Democrats.
Well, yeah, you got
And by the way, every day there's a poll on Trump's popularity. Every day.
Yeah.
It's literally too much, because
Well, Brian, that's like the 24 cycle news service. Somebody asked me the other day. They ask me all the time. Said, "You seen on Fox?" I don't watch Fox. They go, "Why?" I said,
I don't either.
First of all, I'm not a 24/7 guy in this. Number two, I got a family. Okay, I got a wife. I really enjoy my wife. We're good friends. We enjoy each other. We go do stuff. I got a special need daughter. I got to see. If I get off on a weekend and my wife's got something, I'll go fishing in a second. I got another life out.
Most of the
Then
people.
there's another thing. When you watch Fox or any of them, they're telling you what to think. I want you to tell me what to think. I need information. I don't care what you think.
Most of the people that they call on are political hacks. They're paid.
Every one of them.
They're paid. They're paid. Let me tell you, they're paid a couple $100,000 a year, each one of them. Did you know that?
No, they pay big money. But what I'm telling you is, if they're paid to say something.
Yeah.
Period. They're not paid.
They're paid to say something for their party. They're all tied
Just
to.
think if you own this show and you paid me $250 a year, you gonna let me get on here and say whatever I want? You saying, look, you talked about that. That ain't what we're doing. We want to do this. This is I ain't gonna want you to take on this. And I go, I ain't doing that. You go, you're fired. I'll get somebody in here who want to make $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
And freaking they're gonna do what I want because I'm paying them.
Right.
And that's what every one of them are.
Right.
You know, if they come from an organization,
Well, you have
they
to look
stick
at,
it to the script.
have they ever worked in a real campaign and they're sitting there talking about who's going to win?
Yeah.
It's like,
No.
really? I ain't seeing that.
I got people call me all the time. So I'm going to meet with people running for office. And the first thing I need some help. I said, you come to the wrong person. They go,
That ain't your role.
I said, huh? They said, well, what I'm doing, I'm running. I need to know kind of what to do. I said, never ran a campaign in my life. Never worked in a campaign in my life.
Yeah.
I could never get you elected. Matter of fact, I got a better chance of getting you beat because I'm on the air. I'm not running for office. You got to figure out how to play that game that's out there. I don't play that game. I'm the worst person you could talk to. And they go, well, I know, but you can help. I said, no, I can't. I can't tell you how to position yourself. I could tell you,
And look,
and I might be 60%
well,
right.
but when you run, if you're out there doing stuff that I fight against every day,
Yeah.
how am I not gonna be critical of you?
You won't be critical.
Yeah.
I said, look, you need to go talk to people who do this for a living.
Well,
I don't do it. Look, Julie Emerson called. Because Julie don't run for the Senate. If Julia's out, Julie's in. She's Jeff's guy, lady. Jeff's going to raise the money. It's all about Jeff with Julie. I'm telling you what's coming.
she's running.
If Julia Ledlow backs out, which I think Julia Ledlow ain't running.
She's not running.
She's not running. You're going to see Julie announce. Julie wants to meet with me. So I need to talk to you about it. I said, Julie, you run for office. What you want to talk to me for? I told her, I said, what the hell you want? I can't help you.
Did she have any insurance bills? No.
No. Jeff's going to raise the money.
Yeah. No.
All right. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Bernie Pinson, I'm a special guest. We're going to do Bernie one more segment. Got a business owner I want to visit with a little bit when we get back for the next deal. Bernie, so somebody called and wanted me to ask you this. I'm going to go there first. I can go back to the state. With Charlie Kirk's assassination, just murdering this, so many people that have just come to the altar, so to speak. Trump admitted, and I've read that Kirk had a lot to do with the election, too. A lot of people think it's Musk, but this guy getting these young people, starting to affect people in different ways. Will an organization, let's agree that it played in the Trump win last time. Let's just say it did.
Yeah.
Okay. Will it play even more this time or play less? I know it's a year away, year and 2 months away.
Well,
you got to keep something on fire. So do you think it affects what's coming up next year?
Well, it depends on how the Republicans. You've got to go into the universities like what's the guy, Shapiro? There are two of them, he and Kirk. They figured out 5, 6, 8, 10, 15 years ago that the Democrats had gone into the universities and taken over the student population and rearranged it so that most of them are now Democrats. And Charlie Kirk was in the process of competing in that world.
He was in there. Yep.
He was in that world. He also sounded the alarm about a month ago that the Democrats were back in there, and what he had done could be reversed or would be reversed unless he got some help. And the Republican Party's got to focus on universities. The Democrats focused on it and were incredibly.
They took it over.
They took it over. So Charlie Kirk's mission was to bring forces to bear to change that. And the good news is that his movement got a lot of attention, got a lot of money.
It's reinvigorated. I mean, they're pumped up. Can that last the whole year? Because once you start talking about election time, will it pick back up? Well, it needs to be.
Well, what's important is the next two and a half years.
You got the congressional seats next year.
The midterms are important, very important, because of Trump's agenda. But do the Republicans want everything that Trump has done? If they lose in 2.5 years, when Trump's gone, then as we're finding out, presidents now with executive orders can undo everything the last president did. So it's important that they maintain the presidency. And where do you start? In the universities?
Well, he was making a lot of progress. I do see more and more people wanting to get involved. They got 100,000 requests for 50,000, whatever it is, for Turning Point USA. And that's kind of where it starts. These young people that are being, a lot of these universities, and they've been so far left. They've convinced these people and these young kids of things that used to never be true. Now they become true in their lives. So Bernie, I've got at least 6 or 8 friends of mine that said their kids came back from college. They're not even the same people anymore.
Yeah, well,
their whole philosophy about God, family, the Constitution, the border, drugs, whatever, has totally flipped. Gender, it's just flipped. And he said, I've had daddy say, my son will talk to my wife, but won't even talk to me anymore. I mean, that never happened to me. I got 2 out. My youngest one's my producer. He's probably the most conservative. He probably won't be telling me, he's probably more conservative than me. But this is what's happened at the university. So guess what? If they go vote, that's how they're going to vote.
Well, that's what Kirk was all about. So we'll see. I think that I'll be honest with you, his wife, she has pizzazz as far as public appearance, speaking.
I was told I went speak at a visual for him at First Bossier, and there was a young girl. I forget Abigail's last name. She was real young, college. She had been on with Kirk's team and went to Korea with him, which was a Saturday before. She told me then that I had never seen his wife speak anything. Well, she spoke on Fox a little bit. She said, "Wait till you see his wife." I said, "You think the real deal? You hadn't seen anything yet?" She said, "She's dynamite." She said, "We spent more time with her than we did Charlie." And now I see what they mean.
Well, I'm not talking about Kirk's movement or whatever else. I just saw her speaking a couple times, and when somebody can is a good speaker
Articulate,
and
yeah.
articulate and has pizzazz, as I call it. That's one of the things candidates you look for in candidates, and wow, she has it. So I'm not saying she's good or bad or indifferent on this movement, but they certainly got maybe one of the best speakers I've ever seen just appear out of no place.
Yeah.
She just came out of no place. But anyway, what's important?
In other words, it could affect it in a
Well,
positive way, but they got to stay in there with it.
Yeah, the Democrats have a lot to do to get ready for the next presidential. So do the Republicans. One of the things the Republicans that Charlie Kirk pointed out is they've got to go back into those universities if they're going to be successful. It's not the answer, but it's one of the answers.
Okay, real quick, 2, 3, 4 minutes left. You got to be curious what the courts are going to do with all this redistricting crazy that's going on right now. And I'm talking about Louisiana. I know they're doing things in other states, but I'm just talking about here with the Cleo Fields district and I mean, where's the Liz changed her mind on what she first said it was not gerrymandering on the district. Now she is when they went to file a suit. Where are we at all this? What do you think's going to happen? What are you looking at?
Well, I think the question is, will the Supreme Court decide to? I guess they've decided to take the case based on the part of called the Voting Rights Act and saying, do we still need that? Is that still needed? Is that reverse discrimination? They've looked at stuff mainly as reverse discrimination, and they're saying it's not justified because somebody's being punished.
Yeah.
It's still reverse discrimination in any form, and so that's the tack they've taken. Now, if they hold that standard to Louisiana or Alabama or any other ones, then it's gone. But I'm not sure they're there yet.
You know, they decided to take this on. They got to make some quick decisions, especially for us because we got closed primaries in April and May. So I just don't want our government to jump up and say we don't have enough time. I don't want, because there's no such thing.
Well, I think the speaker has said he's ready for the one related to the legislature, saying get ready to be in Baton Rouge on October 13th or 14th.
Yeah,
so I mean, and the question is that the courts have to allow the time, though. The legislature, if they come down with a decision, there's nothing they can do other than give the state time to actually conduct an election. You can't have an election that everybody in the country can sue it as being unfair and wasn't timely.
Yeah, it's interesting times here.
Yep.
I felt like we should have went back in August and got it done, continuously planned if the Supreme Court rules a certain way, and then boom, you're there, you go for it, and then the lawsuits will start.
Right.
But that's where the Supreme Court can step back in and go, nope, this is the district. I noticed the Supreme Court frowns on anybody but the legislature drawing the district, because that is constitutionally what they're designed to do.
Right.
And that's why I thought they should have did nothing. Judge Dick couldn't have did nothing. She'd have drew a district, and it went to federal court, the Supreme Court, they'd have threw it out, and we would have had the district we had before they put the Cleo Fields in. I thought it was that simple. I think we complicated it. All we had to do was do nothing. Say, this is our district. What was the judge going to do? Put the governor and the attorney general in jail? He was going to put everybody. That was never going to happen. And the Supreme Court was going to rule in our favor. They would rather us have our legislature draw the district. Yeah, I think they talk about how complicated it is. I don't think it was complicated at all.
Well, the good news is in a very short period of time, we'll find out who was right and who was wrong.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, and this Supreme Court is just like everybody else. I never know what they're coming back.
No.
I don't know what angle they're taking.
Well, I think the Supreme Court is there's, everybody says it's political. I think this one is in a balancing act with not trying to give Trump everything he wants, but give him just enough. Why? Because every district judge in the United States is being used by various groups to say no to Trump and then push it to Supreme Court. Supreme Court is pushing back and saying, quit doing this to us.
Well, Chucky Schumer bragged on national TV, said, it's why under the Biden administration I put 225 more judges to stop the Trump agenda.
Yeah.
And I thought, that is not why you put a judge in there. You put a judge in there so they'll judge fairly,
well,
based on the Constitution and law. That's not how the Democrats put judges in.
No, nobody believes that any longer either. All judges are put there for a specific reason.
Well, they've all become political.
Yeah, they might as well stand up and say, I'm going to be a Democrat, I'm going to be a Republican, whatever comes to me, I'm voting for Republicans.
Yeah.
To say that a judge is fair now is a joke.
Yeah. Bernie Pinson, that's his name, folks. We have him on again. He's been on many times. We're going to take a break. I got a Louisiana business guy, gentleman here we want to visit with. Just promote a little business here while I'm in Baton Rouge. All right, we take a break. Be back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. What's up, Josh?
Hey, how are you?
Doing good, man. Josh, you ever met Mr. Bernie Pinson?
I don't think so.
Louisiana Tree Company, right here.
Hey, Josh.
Nice to meet you.
The Tree Pro.
Tree Pro.
John, have you met him yet? Bernie, take this water. Thank you. That was great. Glad we did the poll thing. I've been wanting to do that with you for a while. So, Bernie, thanks, bud. Come on, Josh. You're the man, huh? Been wanting to do. I told you we was going to do this. I bet Josh sat back and said, man, I'm so full of crap. He ain't going to no more put me on that and fly to the moon. What's up, my brother?
Hey, how you been?
Good, man.
Good.
Catch any fish?
Yeah, it's starting to.
What are you doing, specs?
I got you some.
Oh, man, thank you, dude. You heard me, though? You
Yeah.
catching specs?
Flounder and redfish right now. The flounder's starting to get good. We get a bunch of
But
them.
don't they? I thought they when they cutting the season off.
Uh,
They have a season now. They cut that crap
It'll
off.
be in like second week of October.
Yeah, they cut it.
But we're planning on being down there. I think the first couple of weeks of December, and if you want to come, some flounder, and the river's real low right now, and it's
I'd love to come do that.
it's looking good. It's clean. So I think we're gonna have a really good fall and winter. We went down there and stuck a whole pile of flounder.
Oh my God! And that ain't nothing but pure good eating right there, brother.
We got good lights and stuff. Got good areas. We
And
go
that's
stick them.
fun, man. All right, Josh. Josh, you gonna give me a couple of these?
That's all. You can do what you want with them. I just brought you a
I'm
pile.
gonna take a couple of each one. I don't want that many.
I've got piles of them.
You don't want these?
No, we just use them for advertisement stuff.
John, you want a few
you
of these,
can give them to people, whatever
I
you
will.
want to do.
I'll be glad to. Matter of fact, I got 2 lunch deals today. I'm gonna take them, but I'm gonna take them out for me. You want a couple? I didn't tell you. You just look up. Now look, this is gonna be simple, Josh. Have a little bit of fun. Talk about your business, what you do. I mean, you like everybody else. If a hurricane came here, your business skyrocketed.
Yeah,
but
it does. But
you got
we don't like
storms
it.
coming through here now, knocking trees down. And I know you want to follow. You want to talk about tree, but you're talking about getting them off the houses, on the ground, everything. I want you to cover it all. Anyway, everything going good? You've been busy?
Been fairly busy. Overall, people's been slow, so we're fortunate. We've been fairly
You're
busy.
blessed, man.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you know, I think we're fortunate we hadn't had a hurricane. You don't want a hurricane either, but when they come, that's
Yeah, we never.
I take it if something like that happens. We're going to talk about this, but I take it when you got something like a hurricane or something coming through, you're probably busy before and after.
Yeah,
I would think you just as busy before as you are
personally
after.
don't like them local. I mean, I don't mind traveling. Locally, it kind of brings in a lot of riffraff. Yeah.
Oh, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying my gut feeling is they know a storm's coming the week of
eventually,
prep. So what happens is, like,
Yeah, even
years
if we
ago
don't,
at my house,
even if we
I
don't
had
get
a guy
one.
come get some trees off my house. I mean, it was just big old oaks all over. I spent a couple, $3 grand before I met you.
Yeah.
You could have came and done it for me. Anyway, they came and did that, and when a storm comes, man, it's not even close to my house anymore, which makes me feel better. So what I'm saying is,
We do a lot of
free
prep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just like with generators, I got a generator company, and they always tell me, "Say, man, I can come service your generator,
Right.
but I can't come to your house and put one in 3 days before the storm gets there. It doesn't work that way."
Yeah.
We try to tell people that, we said, you know what? They don't listen. They want to buy one. They don't want to buy one. Then it comes storms. But
I mean, it's
a generator
it's
is
an
good
investment. You know, it's
generator's
never
good
like
in winter.
everything.
We had snow last year. Electricity got knocked out all around us. We had electricity.
I bought a house. It's been a few years back that had one, and I said I'll never have another house without one. So when we built
When I moved here,
my new house, I put one in.
when we moved to South Louisiana, I wouldn't move without putting one. Hi, hello. Welcome back to Moon Griffon Show. I want to thank John and Talk 107.3 FM, our friends at Guarantee Broadcasting. Barney Pinsonette, Scott, what was his name again? Scott McKay. That's him. Okay. He's going to get mad because I did that to him, but I like to gig him. Anyway, we do appreciate it. 844-766-6607. It's the Matthew James Tax Pro. And before I get to my special guest, I do want to mention Stein. Folks, Stein has been with me for about 20 years. Stein has businesses all over the state of Louisiana. Okay? You're looking for lumber, building materials. You're looking for hunting equipment. Hunting equipment, what all do they have there? This is the best thing to do. Go to steinhome.com. Steinhome.com. They got a drive-through lumber yard. You can literally drive over with your trailer and truck, say, here's what I need. They go get it. They put it on there. You pay for it, and you go out of there. They do it all for you when you go through the drive-through. But anything doing with the fall, painting, flooring, camps, any of that, Stein is where you need to go. Stein does a great job. They're a great Louisiana company. You know, when we do hit hurricanes and storms come through, man, they find ways with generators and stuff to open their business to make sure people are getting what they need when a storm may have everybody down. Stein has been a great, great Louisiana company and really, really good people. The Stein family are amazing. And the dad all started it when he came back from World War II. Really, really big. Stein. Go to steinhome.com, steinhome.com. Better brands, better prices guaranteed. Stein is the place you need to go. We are joined. I'm glad we got the gentleman on it. His name is Josh Howard. He is the Louisiana Tree Pro. And I hope I'm saying that right. Josh, good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too. Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I would say you out of the Baton Rouge area mostly for the most part. I think you go anywhere just about if it's big enough.
Yeah, we do travel. We're based out of Denham Springs, but we area, Gonzales area, even St. Francisville.
Josh is one of them great small businesses I talk about all the time. And so, Josh, how long you been doing this?
We've been in business with Louisiana Tree Pro about 4 years, I guess. And, we have a history of tree work even before that. So as this company is relatively young, we do have a good background with tree work before that company.
What all do you do when you say, you're a tree service? Okay, you're a tree pro, but tree service. So what all does that entail?
Yeah, we're a full service tree service. We can do just about anything as far as pruning is concerned, removals, tree care. There's not a whole lot that we can't do. We've got cranes in-house. There's pretty much no removal that we can't do. We've got stump grinders, we got forestry mulchers, chippers. I mean, we've got all of the latest technology in tree care, and we're happy to share it with the.
One of the other things you do too. Somebody's got a yard with a bunch of trees and knocked down, they're falling down, and all that. You come out there and remove that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We can remove just about anything, and we can give an assessment to. Some people don't realize if the trees are in good shape, bad shape. We talk people out of work more than anything.
So in other words, you go and you can assess trees when somebody said, "I'm worried about this tree getting ready to die." Or something.
We're licensed arborists with the state. We educated in the tree care, and we've got consulting arborists that we deal with on a regular basis. If it's something that's not our forte, we certainly can get you hooked up with the right people.
Yeah, you've been around a while, but you've got you covered basically this area for most of the general stuff.
Yeah, I mean, about 75 miles from Denham Springs, but it's not rare to see us travel to Mississippi for a few jobs. So, I mean, we'll stretch out 150 miles sometimes. But
I got a question. So, you get a storm in. It could be a tornado. It could be a hurricane. We go through stuff all the time here. Just weather is part of what we do in Louisiana. I'm just going to ask you because what I find is when something like that happens, you have some kind of bad weather deal, you got a lot of people that come from out of state. So what's going to be the difference when getting somebody local like you that you can count on than somebody going through here and say, because what happens is people panic and they think, oh, I called Josh. Josh is tied up. He can't get to me for a week because he's so busy with everything going on. So I'm going to use this guy that stopped by, left a sheet of paper there and say, hey, I'm in town. I want to clean you up. Tell us a little bit of difference. I know it's a big difference. It's not a little difference.
Yeah,
it's a big
that's
difference.
right. So the biggest thing, Louisiana is one of the few states that require a state license to do tree work. Anything that's within 100 foot of a not only a structure, but any improved land, whether it be a fence or power line or anything like that. And so, yeah, we do see people that get worried about their debris won't get picked up by FEMA, so they think they have to rush and get everything done. We see FEMA picking up after hurricanes for a couple of months. They're going to make 2, 3, 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So, no use to get too excited on that. It's going to get picked up. If there's a tree on a house, we make that priority.
Okay.
We get the tree off the house, and we'll get the roof tarped up. But we'll always get there. I mean, we work crazy hours
I know
during
you
that
do.
time.
I was going to tell you, this guy
Yeah.
right here, they got to go 24/7 for a few days. They'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, by the way, son, don't forget, somebody listening to you right now, and I'm just highly recommend y'all use this guy. Give people the website or phone number or something people can bite into to say, or the website to go to so people can understand where they need to go.
Yeah, website is treeprola.com, and you can also look us up at louisianatreeremoval.com. And the work cell goes to our assistant over there, Morgan. She's mans the phone during the week, so you're always going to get somebody because I'm typically tied up. But that phone number is 225-939-2322.
By the way, I call her too because Josh won't call me back.
That's not true.
Josh is going, oh, I'm just thinking, but I'm messing with you. I wanted you to put that out there so somebody going down the road and say, man, I need somebody. Because the thing about it is, if you call y'all, you may be looking at a job going, I don't think I'm going to be able to get somebody. You're not coming up pick up sticks. We're not doing that, right?
We'll even do that if we need to.
But what I'm saying is they need to call you where you can come out and take an estimate, because I'm sure you'd give an estimate before you ever start the work.
That's right. So, I mean, Morgan's main job is to answer any calls that come in and immediately go out and take a look at what we have. And she'll take videos and pictures, and some I need to look at in person, some we can just do from that. But the good news is you're going to get somebody on the phone, and you're going to get somebody to your property immediately. You're not going to have to wait weeks. And, we get tied up with the work side, but we keep that flowing pretty good as well.
Yeah, by the way, one of the best things I like about Josh John, the dude likes to fish.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
He's my best new buddy. He likes to fish,
well,
man.
I come from a background of fishing. I ran charter service in Venice for 20 years. So,
oh my God! I remember you telling me that.
yeah,
It probably was a fun time when you look back, huh?
it was a lot of work, more work than the tree work, but we made a lot of friends and caught a lot of fish.
I got news for you. If you fish and you fish like that, that becomes way more work than
That's
fun.
right.
No, but once again, if you're in the Baton Rouge, Denham Springs area, and even if you're outside, depending on how big the job is, you need to give these folks a call. They really do a good job. You got a great reputation. I talked to a couple of people that have used you, and they said, man, they come out very professional, everything up front. And that's the next question, because people want to know, well, do you take insurance? If something happens with a house, you probably how does that work?
Yeah.
And just how do you work for us estimating stuff? Is it will you put it down? That's it. How's that work?
Yeah, we'll do estimates and get you a quote out. We use digital quotes, and they can sign everything from there as far as approving the quote. No money taken up front. That's one of the main things. You should never be paying. Some tree companies will require a small deposit, but you shouldn't be paying a lot of money up front. We take no money up front. You're paying us when we're done.
Last thing, give out your number and website again, brother.
It's treeprola.com and 225-939-2322.
Folks, a great guy with a great company, and they do what they say. So if you need any kind of work around your house dealing with trees, in your yard, your property, whatever, here's the guy, Josh Howard. Josh, God bless. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Moon.
All right, we got to get out of here. See, that didn't hurt, did it?
No, I appreciate it.
Good. I hope you get a good response. I like to have businesses come talk about their business, actually more than me, because what happens is people hear you and they go, hey, you sound like a pretty good guy, pretty sincere guy, working